We're back again, but this is a whole video about what sold over the last week. So earlier on in the day, I did a live showing you what basically I sold within the weekend. This is a full breakdown of what sold last week. I had a really good week last week, so I'm going to break down everything I sold from Monday to Sunday. If you want to go and have a look at the live, then it'll be in a link at the end. If you want to see a bit more in depth, I'll actually go through what I saw the weekend, wrapping them up, showing you how I wrap things, answering questions. It's about an hour and a half, just over. So go and take a look at that. I appreciate it. But we're going to go from Monday all the way to Sunday, and then I'll tell you the profit I made at the end of the week. So Monday, I sold 4 things, and Tuesday wasn't even any better. It was even worse. Reason being, I'm not listing like I should do. I've been telling everybody on my channel, you need to list. The more you list, the more you sell. And I seem to be going from listing to not listing, listing to not listing, and I need to stop it. Don't know why. Maybe a bit of laziness. Maybe some other things come and like I'm too busy picking. But you'll see the difference in the week with listing and not listing. So these first few days, I think it's Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday, I ain't listed nothing. Then I think started on Thursday, started listing and the sales picked up. So we're going to go through Monday first. And the first thing I sold was a LeapPad learning system. Picked this up from a charity shop for £6 and I sold it for £18. The next item was a spirit horse from the film cartoon, and I picked this up at a jumbo sale for 50p and I sold it for £8. The next item was a Hot Wheels Monster Jam Dragonoid. Picked this up for £1 and I sold it for £8. If you do see Monster Jam monster trucks, get them. You can always sell them for around £8. Some are more rare than others, but yeah, you're always going to get £8 to £12, depending on which one and what size. The last sale day of Monday was one of my board games. I bought a big bundle of board games. Some of them are not listed, they're ready to be listed, and take some photographs for £50. There was about 50 board games, all different sorts. So they basically owed me just over £1 each. I sold a Atmosphere vintage board game from the 1990s. It sold to somebody in America for £12. Oh, I just made over £7.50 profit on that one. I sold a lot of board games this week and I've now paid off all the board games, and every single board game from now on is like pure profit. So I've still got like another 40 left. So yeah, it was well worth buying them. On Tuesday, I sold one item and it was a free item. I had a Amazon Basics camera bag. I think it was my dad's when he was into photography. It's about 10 years old, but I sold it for 10 quid. So I made pure profit on that one. It was just something that was like hanging around, and you know, I thought, well, I might as well just get rid of it. So not good. Monday and Tuesday, 5 sales in total. Not good at all. And Wednesday wasn't very good either. I only got 4 sales as well. But I did sell some decent stuff. I sold a walker, a chrome one of the ones where I paid like £15 for 4 of them. So these walkers owe me £3.75, and I sold one for £39.99. Sold another item which was in the board games. This wasn't a board game, it was a Meccano set from the 1990s. I sold this for £25. Also, I had a bundle of Lego. I sold it ages ago, but there was a load of cars and bits and bobs and stuff like that. There was 4 missiles, plastic missiles from a G.I. Joe helicopter, I think, from whenever it was, 1990s, 80s. I sold them for £4. You know, I only made a couple of quid profit, but it's pure money now. It doesn't owe me anything. And then finally on that day, I sold a Bart Simpson duvet cover from 1997. One way he's showing his butt, you know, and I'm really surprised that didn't sell a lot quicker. Simpson stuff usually sells quite quickly. Don't really see many duvet covers around anymore. I sold it for £12, but I did pay £4.50. So I only made just over £5 profit. So I was a bit good. I didn't get what I wanted for it. At least thought it'd be over £20 profit in that one. For the first 3 days, sales was rubbish. Me not listing. I decided I'm not having that anymore. That Wednesday night, I stayed up. You might have seen me go to a car boot. I told you I went to a car boot and it was pitch black. That night I stayed up, didn't go to bed, and I took pictures of loads of stuff, listed loads of stuff for that day, and the day after, and the day after, and it's been like that ever since. So on the Thursday I sold 10 items. So it just shows listing boosts your sales up. Doesn't matter, because the things I've listed wasn't stuff that was new. So it was still stuff that was on my eBay, but the algorithm, whatever happens on eBay, they just like you constantly being on there doing something, you know, listing, taking offers, giving offers, whatever. You need to just keep on messing with the algorithm in eBay, because that's the only way you're going to sell regularly and consistently. So Thursday I sold another board game, but this is the one that was worth the most. It was a 1988 Shrieks and Creaks board game. So it was a video. It had a little plastic thing where you put cards in and it talks to you. It's really, really rare. It's worth about £150 if you got one that's, you know, sealed and new. I sold this for £41, and guess what? It went to America as well. So, like I said, they owe me just over £1 each. I made £31.80 profit on that one. So with that sale and the other sale and a couple of more I'm going to mention, like I said, the whole set is paid for. So everything is free now when it comes to them board games. The next sale was another board game. It was a Monopoly set, but it was Star Wars Saga Edition. That one sold for $12.99. So again, that was definitely then. After I sold that one, knew from then, every board game I sold, I could like go sell it for cheaper if I wanted to get rid of them, because everything was going to be pure profit from them. Next sale was a Transformer. It was Megatron from the Revenge of the Fallen. I picked this up for £2 and I sold it for $14. My next item is something that I'm going to look into more. I know people buy like DVDs and VHSs, but I tend to stay away from them because a lot of them are just not worth anything. But as soon as I saw these, it was on a Saturday car boot when I picked up a whole bundle of stuff from one person. I think I paid about 14 quid for a load of VHSs and players and board games and Action Man radio control car. Everything worked out to around 77p. So I divided everything up and it came to 77p per lot. I had 23 Dad's Army VHS tapes. Obviously, these cost me 77p. I sold them for £34 within the first day of listing them. So, pure profit from now on with that little bundle I bought. Made a £27 profit from them VHSs. And like I said, I've got all the board games, I've got all the VHSs and DVD players, which I think there's about 4 or 5. I haven't even tested them yet, so everything now is pure profit. So if I want to sell them quickly, I can lower the price, undercut people else selling the same thing, and just make pure profit. Next is something I always tell you to buy, and guess what? It's a walker, a chrome walker. This is one with no bag. It was one of the ones that was £3.75. Sold it for $29.99. Another toy. Dominus Rex is the little versions that have a piece of meat. I didn't sell the one with a piece of meat in it. I sold the one without because I got 2 of them. I picked this up for 50p, sold it for $14.99. Next 3 items all sold on Vinted. First one was a Monopoly set from 1960s. Didn't have the board, so I couldn't sell it as complete. Sold it for £1.50. Reason being, it is in that car boot lot where I just told you about the Dad's Army VHSs, so it is 77p. Luckily, Vinted's pure profit, isn't it? When you sell stuff, no fees. So I only made 73p, but it's just money, isn't it? It was not complete. It was battered. You know, some money is better than no money. On that day as well, I picked up them Nikes, which was fake, but I did pick up some Caramels from the same place. I sold them on Vinted for £17. I paid £2 for them. Then the video where I did with my son Kai, where he picked out 3 things. One was a frustration board game. That I sold on Vinted, sold for £8, making him a £6.50 profit. And then finally, I sold that Specialized helmet. I didn't sell it on eBay. Somebody on Facebook wanted it, and it got sent down south somewhere. Sold it for £40 because it was brand new. It just never been used. So pure profit off that, £37 profit. Now we're on to Friday, and it was just as good as Thursday. I sold 10 items on Thursday, and I did the same on Friday. First one was a walker. Yeah, the one I bought from that bloke while I was getting my walker from, £3.75. Sold this one for £44.99, making just over £34. The next item was another walker, the most famous walker on my channel, as it's now hit like 5.5k views. The one that I've been ridiculed for because I didn't tell him that I was a reseller. But yeah, it sold. So I sold it for £65, just making over £37 profit. I did buy that for £15. Next item was an Adidas golf top, polo one, blue, really nice. Sold it on Vinted for £12, paid £1.50. Then I sold some New Balance trainers, some white ones. They was on Vinted as well. Sold them for £20, picked them up for £2. Could have sold them for a lot more, but they didn't have no insoles, so I had to reduce them, and I was quite happy when somebody offered me 20 quid. At the car boot where I got the fake trainers and all that stuff from that one bloke, picked up some Riker boots. These are women's boots. I've actually saw these in Shoe Zone, and they're in the nice part. They're like with all the kickers and all that. They're like that mid-range sort of shoe for women. And I saw how much these were reselling, but I didn't sell them for what they are on eBay. I sold them on Vinted. I sold them for £16, but I only paid £3, so I made a £13 profit. Another board game, which is one of them, if you can see there, I've seen it. They're worth absolutely nothing. Sold this for £2.50, so I made like double my money because obviously the £1.16 each board game is worth. I sold another one, but this was a Cluedo. This sold for £5. Then I sold another board game. It's from the same set. This was Pictionary, and that sold for £9.99. For some reason, Pictionary seems to always sell better than other board games. I don't know why, but it does. Then I sold a Nicholas K trench coat. I picked this up from a charity shop ages ago. I think I paid £5 for it. Sold it for £25, and I think that is actually going to America. I think it is. And then finally, something that's been lagging around for ages. Some colour variations do sell quite well. This colour variation obviously doesn't. I had them for like over 6 months. I was going to just put them on a car boot when I get around to doing a car boot before my holidays. These were Puma RSX, size 4.5. Sold them for £10, but I bought them for £2. So I made just over £6 profit. So I'm happy with that because I made a profit, and I know never to buy them trainers ever again. Then something weird happened on Saturday. I got one sale. I haven't got a clue why. Because I was listing. I don't know why. I do think it was like because it's the end of the half term. Maybe people went away. My videos on YouTube didn't do as well. People who regularly comment on the videos hadn't. They've picked up a bit more now. But yeah, I just feel like people must have gone away for the weekend. It was a For Real's Friends Panda. Picked this up from a car boot for £1. And I sold it for 30. Get your For Real Friends. They are all the time over 30 quid. Except for the one I picked up recently, which is only worth about 15. But anything to do with bears or anything to do like that, yeah, they're worth doing. And then finally, Sunday. Sunday is the day where I made the most money out of all of them. I recently got a new phone. You've probably seen it in the channel before. I had trouble with my flip phone, and because every time I closed it, it switched off. Couldn't get it fixed unless I paid like over £300. So I ditched that company, Sky, and I went to EE, got a new phone, paying a new contract. So I had the old phone, but with the EE one, I also had a free option of getting the Samsung Pro Buds 2 and the tag. So I thought, yeah, I'll have them, but they take around 6 weeks to come. On Saturday, they came. So I knew I was going to sell them. I did look on CX, and they was going to offer me £44 for the buds. And I was just like, no chance, because it even tells you how much they're going to sell them for. They're going to sell them for £95. Why would I sell something so you can make double profits? No chance. Stuck my old phone on eBay for, you know what, let's get rid of it as parts, because it does work. It does, obviously the flip doesn't work when you close it. And I stuck the earphones on. They're both sold on the Sunday. So I'll tell you what they sold for. But one of the things that sold first was Dingbat's board game. Yet again, one of the ones from the big pile. Sold this for £7, and I made a £44 profit. So eBay, but like I said, that's pure profit. Next item I sold was a vanity travel case. These are the ones I was doing on the live, so I was wrapping these up, so go and check it out. So the vanity travel case, Statesman, little hard shell one. The mirror had broken it, so it didn't have a mirror in there. Snapped off. Picked it up for £2, sold it for £12. Then I picked up something from a charity shop. I don't know when. It must have been about a month ago. It was a really nice item. I paid £15 for it, only because of the condition and how much it potentially could get. Roughly between £30 to £60, depending on who sold it. It's a Sony Walkman tape and CD player, handheld one. And I sold it for £40, well, £39.99. So I made £18 profit off it, and it sold pretty easy. One of the items that I was talking about was my phone, and I put this up for £120 because I seen sales of it selling for £100 with no box. I got the box, so all the instructions, everything in it, even the charging wire, which hasn't even been used because I just used an old one. I had people offering me like, oh, please, can you sell it for me for £50 because I haven't got much money. Yeah, okay then, because you're a con artist and you want something free, and then you're going to sell it. Do you think I'm born yesterday? Do one. I actually think I said do one to one of them because he was just like, wouldn't get the hint that I was going, no. Anyway, some normal person came and just bought it straight away for £120. So I made £110 off that because it's free. It's mine, I didn't pay anything for it. Well, I did pay something for it, but I didn't buy it, if you know what I mean. So it's free. Next item was a Heads sports bag. I bought two from a charity shop for £5 each. One of them sold for £24.99. So I made a £15 profit, well, just over. Then I sold some O'Neill ski pants. I literally have only had them a week. Not the best condition. A few little scuffs and that at the back of the legs. Picked them up for £5. Sold them on Vinted for £18. So £13 pure profit. And then finally was the earbuds. I sold them as well. These was obviously free. I sold them for £100, making an £88 profit. So on that day alone, I had 7 sales, and in profit I made £254. So that was a brilliant day. Obviously, the phone and the earbuds helped a lot, but doesn't matter. I'll sell anything. So brilliant sales on that day. Lovely to finish the week off with a nice big total. What I've been doing recently, this is the first time I've done it, I've been writing down my sales. So I write everything in a book, and then it gets put onto a computer after. I write everything down, what day, how many sales I had on that day, and the total of profits on that day. It's easier to do a video like this as well. So I've also put how many sales I have on eBay, Vinted, and whatever. I had 27 sales on eBay, 9 on Vinted, and 1 private sale. So it just shows that eBay still dominates selling. I mean, all my items, except for the ones you can't put on Vinted, are on Vinted, and I only sold 7. They're all around. They're actually cheaper on Vinted. I always knock off for like a £5 off them because I know the fees, so it works out around the same price. But people just don't want to pay on Vinted, you know. And it just shows when this Pro comes out, I don't think it's going to make much difference. I don't think it's really going to matter. Anyway, in total, I had 37 sales. Total profit, after all fees taken off, £684.50. So, a brilliant week. Absolutely back to normal. That's what I'm looking for every week. Last couple of weeks have been bad. I've like got nothing compared to that. And that's due to being up and down, you know, listing and that. And yeah, I just got to stop being lazy. I do tell people, I'm so good at telling people how to improve on eBay and do that because I've seen it myself when I do it. But I don't seem to take my own advice. So I'm going to take my own advice now and do what I tell you lot to do. I'm going to do it myself. Because I've just shown you once again, listing to not listing matters. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, obviously hit that thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and go and take a look at that video now. That is the live, if you want to go and see the live. Some really good questions in there. So yeah, go and check it out.